What is up, jerk-offs? JJ back here from Pure Bets. This time to talk some PGA Rocket Mortgage Classic set for Thursday, July 2nd. I'm here with my boy Mangone, who's going to give out some derivatives he'll be on and some outright winners, a few live target spots as well from the weekend or for the weekend. For those that don't know, in the sports betting and DFS space, he goes by just Mangone. But on Tinder and Bumble, he goes by Travis. So with that said, Travis Mangone, what's happening?
What's up, man? Yeah, happy to be here on the show, enjoying it with all the, as you say, like, dirtbag, shitheads, whatever you want to call these guys hanging out to do some bets with us. I'm excited to join and hopefully give some winners out, right? Because we don't have any MMA this weekend, no Fight Island, so it's just the PGA really going to be taking up our time.
Yeah, and golf and PGA definitely hasn't been content I've done in the past, on this channel. But I'm glad to start getting it, getting into it more and more. And there's going to be more people on this channel as well doing content. So definitely stay tuned for that. But in regards to this tournament in particular, now the going theme about this is a relatively easy course for these golfers. What is it specifically, Mangone, that makes it an easy course? And it being an easy course, who does it really strengthen odds for?
Well, it's a par 72. The one thing that they mention is once you kind of get like past the first drive, there are wider fairways. So that'll obviously be easier for people hitting their approach shots and getting up there. There's a ton of par fives too. So yeah, definitely should be a bit of an easier event for this place. So like I said, people that can drive the ball, right? Those bombers are going to be able to take advantage of some things. If you can bomb and putt, man, like you'll be set here. So, and putting is going to be key. Obviously, a lot of guys, they struggle with putting, but if you have a hot putter this weekend, you're going to put up some big points this week.
Now, interesting about this tournament, and obviously, if you're somebody who follows golf, you'll recognize this. But if you're not somebody who follows golf, Bryson DeChambeau is actually 6.5 to 1, which is kind of wild. I mean, it's kind of Tiger Woods-esque for this tournament. In your opinion, Mangone, even at a number like 6.5 to 1 with Bryson's skill set, is there any value there, or is it just like let's look for spots that find value in terms of outrights that aren't named Bryson, or is it just like if I'm going to bet an outright, it's probably just going to protect myself with some Bryson exposure?
Listen, if my buddy's coming up to me and going, man, like, give me a winner, like, I'm going to give him Bryson, of course, like, but I just can't really give out the value on Bryson. It's too difficult. You're going to tell me Webb Simpson at, what is he, like 10 to 1 or 11 to 1? You're going to tell me Bryson is 2 times the player of Webb Simpson? I'm not buying that. Trust me, I love Bryson more than anyone. I'll talk about him all day. You guys laughed at me. I said, if there's the next Tiger Woods, like, give me Bryson DeChambeau. And I got laughed at by all you guys.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a bit of a stretch. I mean, look, me and you gargle his balls all the time, like on any show we're on. But at the same time, it's like these odds are a little bit of a stretch. It is nice to see, I guess there may be some value on Webb, but there is some concerns there with COVID and his fears of it for a potential dropout, right? But ultimately, yeah, I mean, outside of Bryson, is there anybody you maybe have your eyes set on to throw at least a little bit of cheddar on for some outrights?
Yeah, listen, I won't say that this is, an official play from me or anything. I'm technically taking a break from the outrights, but I am putting a small amount on this guy. I'm going with Eric Van Rooyen. He's one of those guys from overseas. He comes over here sometimes, and he's Mr. Boom Bust, right? If you look at just this year's logs, you can pull him up. He's got made 6 cuts and played in 10 events, and he's got like 2 top 10s, a 15th, like so. Eric Van Rooyen, he's a guy, he has upside if he makes the cut. He's a guy that is a great iron player. He kind of reminds you of, I'd say like, he's kind of got like that, like Scotty Scheffler, that, Victor Hovland-esque type of play, right? Where he can, he can score big. So I kind of like him here in this spot. EVR is a guy that I think has upside. I think the ball striking can be there. And listen, if the ball striking gets there and then he's hot, if he just can make a ton of 5-footers, he's going to get rolling. So I think EVR is a guy that has a ton of upside. You can get him at 70 to 1, which I didn't expect that to be his price. He's also not getting a big price hike from the recent events because he's not a guy that's been, putting up like top 5s or anything. He's done decent and the numbers line up pretty well, but he hasn't popped off. His value is still there. So at 70 to 1, I'm definitely going to put some change on him.
Yeah, and I mean it's a good point with bigger odds like that, guys, because outrights in golf is much like betting outrights or futures in any other sport, where like early in the tournament you're going to try to find some guys that have value early. Right, there's some guys that maybe have exploding type odds, and then like as the tournament progresses, now you're sitting there with a few different tickets in your hand. Maybe you bet 10 or 12 outrights, right? Then you're sitting there with 5 or 6 tickets in your hand come Saturday or Sunday, where these guys are all in the hunt for a shot to win. And now you got, like I said, you got maybe even come Sunday, you got 3 tickets in your hand for guys that are in the top 5, top 10, all that are going to pay at, 30, 40 to 1. So these are the types of things that you want to target. And Mangone only gave you one guy, a guy that he's kind of comfortable with, but ultimately this isn't the type of tournament where you can really find a whole lot of value in outrights. But there are some derivative type bets you like, Mangone, right?
Yeah, listen, I'm all about targeting these matchup bets, even like the round 2 ones, the round 3 ones, even after you make the cut, right? With 2 rounds left, they have some nice little tournament matchups that I always track, and I look at some stats. So I'm in on all of these. I'm always looking to see if I can find some value. And one that I really, really like here, it's Tony Finau versus Ricky Fowler. And Ricky Fowler's been struggling a ton. He's been going through some changes. And I'll just pull something up quick for you here. In the last 12 months, if I pulled up, Tony Finau and Ricky Fowler in all the same tournaments they've played 11 tournaments. Finau has beaten him 8 times. So he's 8-3 against him. If you do it over the course of 2 years, I believe it was like 19-10. Absolutely, just if you look at the true money line value here, it's not even odds basically at -110. Obviously, you're paying the vig, but it's way higher than that. I mean, I got the true money line based on this at the model I'm looking at 266.7. So I think there's a ton of value here on a guy like Tony Finau against Ricky Fowler, who I could see struggle a ton in this spot.
And you could even argue that the sample size you gave, you were probably getting a good version of Ricky, maybe a bad version of Finau in some of those scenarios. Like right now, we don't have a good version at all of Fowler. And Finau's been as consistent as you could argue in, call it top 40, top 50 since quarantine's come back. And I mean, this is a type of course perfect for his skill set. I really like that call. You said, what was the vig on it currently, Mangone?
It's just -110 on Bet365. That's where I found it. So, yeah, I think that's a really great price tag on him. And one thing maybe to note, this guy, Finau, he lived in Hawaii, and he now lives in Arizona. Some hot weather places. If you like to play the narrative game, right? It's going to be hot in Detroit. So the heat shouldn't bother him, I don't think. He's a guy, like I said, I just think the numbers line up really well. Super safe guy. Everyone makes fun of him for not having a victory yet or anything, but he's a guy that consistent cut maker, always has some pretty high finishes, and Fowler struggling and trending in the other direction.
Now, with regards to these types of bets as well, because you can get real unique in PGA. So making cut bets or even parlaying make cut bets, is that a spot you target? And if it is, anything on tomorrow's slate in regards to people just to make the cut?
Yeah, I think there's great opportunities there to look at made cuts, but I like to parlay them, right? I think parlaying them makes a ton of sense. Look for a couple guys that you think are in a pretty good spot. Now, listen, I have a couple that I've made, but I took mainly Bryson DeChambeau. He's -1,000, which again, we're not going to play that alone. We're not just going to put all that money down on the line. So we're going to parlay that with Victor Hovland. And then I'm going to parlay it with Rory Sabatini, and that gets you to -130. Just 3 guys that I feel really comfortable making the cut. You put down 1.3 units to make 1 unit. I feel really good about that. Now, if you're a guy that says, I want a little bit more of a deeper shot, throw Doc Redman in there, and you can get it at +150. And Doc has been playing incredible as well. So those are 2 bets I've made. I'm going to say if you give me the official one, I'm going to put the Sabatini as my official play. But and then mainly because I have a Doc Redman bet that we'll get to here in a second as well.
Awesome. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess it's a good lead in, it's perfect. So what do you like on Doc?
Yeah. So the thing I like about Doc, and I just want to talk about him. Everyone says, oh, this guy, Doc Redman, we were paying in DFS, right? We were paying 6.8K last week, and now we're paying, 8.5K. Well, there's kind of a reason why. If you look, his tee degree green game has been incredible. And that's one stat that if you look at their strokes gained tee to green game, if you look at that all together, that's a stat that if you're doing well at, right, it's a predictive stat for, success to continue over and over. And I really think that Doc he's 22 years old, young guy, been touted to be a good golfer. I think he's found his groove, right? And the quarantine could have helped, 3 months off of practicing. I think that's something that people aren't even really talking about. And we get Doc Redman going against a bunch of scrubs. It's only a round one bet. That's the one thing. Yeah, obviously I want 4 rounds. If I could have more sample, I could for Doc here, but it's a 1 round bet against these guys, Ben Martin and Zach Blair. Like, I don't know if you're going to go tee it up tomorrow, JJ, and try and take those guys out. You might be able to, but Doc is only -110 against those guys. Martin is +240, and then Blair is +260. That's on the FanDuel Sportsbook. So, yeah, I'm currently on that one for the round 1 matchup. So we'll know tomorrow if we got a winner already early on.
That's awesome. Yeah, so that's three good bets. You even gave a little light future. Now, just in case you're thinking I'm going to sit here with my dick in my hand, I mean, I'm going to give a play as well. So I actually like a matchup. It's on DraftKings in Jersey. Brian Stewart over Tom Hoge. Stewart's only -112 here to outperform him over the whole weekend. So look, Hoge is a better ranked player. He's overall a better player. But quite a few narratives here in favor of Stewart. Hometown course for him. Plenty excited to come back here. He did tie for 5th last year, going 17 under on this course. Look, Hoja just hasn't been in the same form he was pre-quarantine since these guys have come back. So I do think we're getting the better player right now in Stewart, despite him not being better ranked. We're getting the better player right now on a course he loves in his hometown. I'll take this spot every time. Only having to lay 12 cents a vig. And that line again is at DK in New Jersey. Again, that's Brian Stewart over Tom Hoge. Now, Mangone, I guess to kind of wrap this up, do you want to just recap the 3 bets you're on?
Yeah, so 3 bets I'm on, and I'll give you the sites as well. Tony Finau's got a bunch of different bets on different sites, but Bet365 has him against Ricky Fowler. And it's not me just betting on Finau being a good player in the stats lineup. It's also me betting against Fowler. I love in the matches when I can be betting on a guy and I can be betting against the guy. That's something I definitely look at. So that's kind of the spot I'm in. Bet365, I got that at -110 on Finau. Then I have the Doc Redman over on the FanDuel Sportsbook. I got Doc at -110 in a round 1 matchup. Sometimes they're called 2-ball, 3-balls, but on FanDuel it's called the round matchups. I got him at -110 against Ben Martin at +240 and Zach Blair +260. And then my main cut one, I have you get Bryson DeChambeau, you get Victor Hovland, and then you get, Rory Sabatini. You throw those guys in, you get them at -127 is what I grabbed them at. You can also throw the Doc Redman at the +150 if you want to throw him in as well. But again, I already have Doc in 1. Yeah, that's to make the cut. You can throw Redman, like I said, but I don't want to for the official plays because I don't want to just be all in on Doc Redman. I'm already very invested. So I'm going to, give out the Sabatini one. I think that one's just so safe, and I love that one a lot.
Awesome. Yeah, and again, guys, I'm on Stewart over Tom Hoge. So look, that's going to be it for the video. I just wanted to keep it short and sweet for you guys, give you a few bets to sweat this weekend. Ultimately, going to be a relatively quiet weekend, especially if you're not somebody who's going to bet golf. There's going to be a NASCAR race on Sunday, so I'm going to try to have a video there with a few of the guys from the keg on here to give a play or 2 there as well. Got a bunch of the guys that handicap NASCAR regularly, so I'm going to look forward to having them on next week. Huge UFC card at Fight Island, and then potentially MLB coming back in the next few weeks, along with NBA, NHL. So look, bright things coming on this channel. But ultimately, look, guys, stay safe. Enjoy your holiday. If you enjoyed this video, please thumbs up. If you did not enjoy this video, I hope a meteor hits your house. But other than that, thank you guys so much for coming in, watching the video. Hope we all win some money on PGA this weekend, and ultimately stay safe and have a good 4th.